Ekadashi, today Ekadashi, running very fast to Krishna. So we'll have our final Raya Ramananda Samvada reading. But before, our dear friend Bilvamangala Thakur Prabhu, he'll sing a very beautiful bhajan called Monore Kaho Na Gaura Katha. So I'll read the translation first because it's so beautiful. O mind, just speak about Gaura. Gaura's name is the abode of nectar and the embodiment, bestower of divine love. In sleep there is Gaura. In dreams there is Gaura. Gaura is the star of my eyes. In life there is Gaura. In death there is Gaura. Death is a most precious necklace. Gaura is a most precious necklace. Keeping Gauranga inside my heart, I will sit in a secluded place, and according to my heart's desire, I will keep my eyes fixed on his moon-like form. Without Gaura, I cannot live. I have made Gaura the essence of my existence. May my life be spent chanting the name of Gaura. I do not desire anything else. This should be our inspiration from our Ramananda Raya Samvada. If we can keep this inspiration alive. Gaura's movement, Gaura's appearance, Gaura's smiling face, Gaura's love and Gaura's form all penetrate my heart. Gaura is my dharma. Gaura is object of my karma. Gaura is the essence of the Vedas. I surrender my life at Gaura's lotus feet. Gaura will take me across the ocean of existence. Narahari begs for shelter at the feet of the servant, of that person in whose heart the sound of Gaura and the treasure of Gaura has manifested. Sri Sachinandan Gaura Hari Ki Jai. This is by Narahari Sakha, the brother of Mukunda Sakha and the uncle of Raghunandan. So, Bilvamangala Prabhu will chant this song.
Dandavat Pranams. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Dandavat Pranams to Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Maharaj, and Dandavat Pranams to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So we will sing this song today, and I'm going to not repeat because it's a slightly longer song. Man re kahana gaura katha Gaure ranam amiyar dham Gaure ranam amiyar dham Piriti murati gata kahana gaura katha Shayane gaura swapane gaura Gaura nayane tara Jivane gaura marane gaura Gaura galara hara Yara majare gauranga rakiya Virale bashiya rabo Manere sadete Serupa chandere Nayane nayane tobo Gaura vihane Navanchi parane Gaura kore chishara Gaura bolia Jauka jivane Gaura bolia Jauka jivane Kichna chahibo ara Gaura gamana Gaura ghatana Gaura mukhera hasi Gaura piriti Gaura murati Hiyaya rahalo ashi Gaura dharama Gaura karama Gaura Vedera Sara Gaura Charane Parana Sampinu Gaura Parivipara Gaura Shabada Gaura Sampada Jahara Hiyaya Jage Narahari Das Tarda Das Charane Sharana Mange Mane Kahana Gaura Kata Mane Kahana Gaura Kata Sachi Gauranandan Jaya Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura He 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 Nitai 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 He Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Vinod Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Vinod Bihari Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Sri Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Sri Jaya Guru Deva 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 Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol
Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Ganhavita Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai
Jai.
Sachinandana Gaurahari Ki Jai Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai
Jai.
Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai
Jai.
Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gauri Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Vedanta Acharya ki jai. Jai Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya ki jai. Jai Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan, Shri Bhadra Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal, Bhadra Dasa Raghunath, Sad Goswami Prabhu's ki jai. Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsada ki jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Agina Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Bhutapata Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragambitam Tam Sajevam Savadbetam Savadbhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahalalita Shiva Shakam becomes Cha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Priya Sarupe Daita Sarupe Prema Sarupe Sahajabi Rupe Nijana Rupe Prabhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swabila Sarupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Karuna Bharatinokalo Samarapaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundarata Tikatamba Sadipita Sadahradare Kandare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha Yam Pravajantam Anapetyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putre Titam Mayatayo Taravo Binidustam Sarvabhutam Hridim Munimanatoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripa Mahitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanada Vindam Bhajami Radam Aravinda Netram Smarami Radam Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radam Karuna Bharadram Tato Mamanasti Katina Kapi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Naimam Charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. And I'm offering the same again millions of times unto the lotus feet of our dearmost Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pad, and to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. So, Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavevcha, Patitanam Pavnivyo Vaishnavevyo Namo. So, we've practically reached the conclusion of this remarkable treatise, or this remarkable conversation, which is most certainly linking us in to the complete picture of Sachinandan Gaurahari and his connecting with Vishaka Devi in the form of Ramananda Rai and distributing these highest truths, walking us through page by page of these extraordinary truths of what is the sadhya, what is the complete goal of life, the ultimate goal of life. So we discussed the ultimate goal is this prem Vivart Vilas. Ultimately, when Sri Radhika, her love, sees a tamal tree and thinks it's Krishna, and she runs to embrace it, she becomes so distracted in her mind, this Divyan Mad, and then these Udgurna moods welling in her heart. So these are extraordinary, high subject matters of the spirit soul's worship towards the Supreme Lord. And if we can just hear them patiently and appreciate them and not be thinking, oh, that can be me at any point. But if we're just concerned with the principle of appreciating the sadhya and then making our life molded in the focus of that sadhya, then our lives will be thoroughly successful. So yesterday on page 251, we read the last paragraph through quite quickly. So I want to read it again today. It's in the middle of page 251 in our book. So it's saying that without Madanakya Mahabhav, it is not possible to taste Sri Krishna's unparalleled sweetness. So that's quite a remarkable statement, that this Bhav, Madanakya Mahabhav, is only in Sri Radhika. So only Radhika fully tastes Sri Krishna's sweetness. No one else tastes it to the extent that she does. She's his Swarup Shakti. So no one else, none of the other gopis actually, they may have a shadow of this, Lalita Vishakha, etc., a shadow of that. But in full, this Madanakya Mahabhav is experienced exclusively by Sri Radhika alone. She's the Kaya Vyuhar of all the, she's the source of all the other Sakis. Each and every one of Krishna's limbs is covered by the limbs of Sri Radha. Therefore, Krishna himself is going to be able to taste this Madanakya Mahabhav. Right? Krishna wants to taste his own sweetness. That was his desire. Sokyam kasyam mad anubhavita kidrisham vetilobat. That he wants to taste the happiness that Sri Radha experiences by receiving the sweetness of his love. So he wants to taste that. Therefore, without this Madanakya Mahabhav, it wouldn't be possible to taste Krishna's own unparalleled sweetness. This is the meaning of the previous sentence. Each and every one of Krishna's limbs is covered by the limbs of Sri Radha. So therefore Krishna, in the mood of Radha, this Radha Bhav, then he's able to taste himself. Factually, the complexion of Sri Krishna's body is not golden. It is simply because each one of his limbs is covered by the golden limbs of Sri Radha that he is seen as having a fair complexion. Mahaprabhu, he wanders throughout South India with his arms raised high, chanting the Mahamantra, and his beautiful golden form is so attractive to all the residents of South India, because it's Sri Radha directly. His form is directly a manifestation of Sri Radhika, but within is the black shyam hue of Sri Krishna himself. It is simply because each one of his limbs is covered by the golden limbs of Sri Radha that he is seen as having a fair complexion. Both Sri Gora and Sri Krishna are the self-same Krishna, and both are the enjoyers of Sambhog Ras. So Gora and Krishna are the same, even though within the body of Gora there is the Bhav and Kanti of Sri Radha, but it's still Krishna as well. So therefore Krishna is going to be able to taste this Sambhog Ras, the happiness of meeting, which means that both are the enjoyers of Vishaya Vigraha. This means Gora and Krishna both will enjoy this Vishaya, this place of being the enjoyed. Gora and Krishna will both experience that taste, the taste of being the sugar, so to speak. Furthermore, taking shelter of the golden complexion and sentiments of the Ashraya Vigraha, Sri Radha, in the mood of separation. Now, it's another conception, in the mood of separation. And we understand, my Gurudeva said conclusively, that Mahaprabhu practically never experiences union when he's in the renounced order. The last 24 years of his life are almost exclusively in Vipralamba Bhav, practically exclusively. Once or twice he has darshan of Krishna, but it's this Vipralamba Bhav that Mahaprabhu is mostly immersed in, practically exclusively immersed in. Then Sri Krishna is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So he's Sri Krishna Chaitanya when he has that mood of Radha experiencing the Vipralamba. So this is the tattva that's being explained. This is a very important paragraph here. Dear Lalit Nayak, this is the hero, Krishna. 4 types of heroes. Dhirodhata, this is actually compared to a personality like Lord Ram, Dhirodhata. Then there's Dhirodat, Dhirodhata, with a short O. And this is compared to someone like Bhimsen, that sort of mood, quite arrogant sometimes. And then there is Dhira Shantaha, and this is being compared to Yudhisthira Maharaj. He has that mood also. It's all 4 qualities are Krishna, but to get an understanding of the nature of these heroes, these characteristics, these qualities, they're compared to different personalities like Ram, Bhimsen, and Yudhisthira, just to get an idea. But Krishna is all of those different personalities. He has those different qualities within him. Just like Sri Radha has the quality of Vrishabhanu Nandini, Viyogini Nandini, and Samyog Nandini Radha, Samyog Sri Radha. These 3 qualities are within Sri Radha. So this Dear Lalit Nayak, and it's described in the footnote that Sri Krishna is portrayed as Dear Lalit Nayak. The hero is characterized by skill in amorous pastimes, fresh youthfulness, expertise in humor, the absence of anxiety, and submission to his beloveds. He's a carefree prince of Braj. That's the mood of Dear Lalit Nayak. The only place where it exists is in Braj. Sri Nandanandan, the original Godhead, is the only form of Sri Krishna Sri Vishnu, able to enjoy Sri Krishna's Swarup Shakti, Sri Radha, who is the complete Chit Shakti. Nrsingadev, he enjoys the company of Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi is a expansion from Sri Radha, from Swarup Shakti. All the Lakshmis of Vaikuntha are expanding from Sri Radha, and all the gopis are expanding from Sri Radha. But the ultimate quintessence, the topmost personality, that Adyantika, Adhika, Madhvi, Mridvi, this is Sri Radhika, the topmost. And only Krishna enjoys, who is the complete Chit Shakti, that's Swarup Shakti. No other form of Vishnu, only Gopendra Sutta, Sri Krishna, the son of the king of the cowherd community, partakes of Sringara Ras, the mellow of amorous love, and is Dear Lalit Nayak. All others have strong feelings of Aishwarya. We described that yesterday, right? All the other avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamanadev. Tomorrow we'll celebrate, Varahadev, yes, Varahadev tomorrow. And then Vamanadev and Nrsingadev, and all these different personalities, none of them exhibit these amorous pastimes. They're all, Ram is the previous avatar to Krishna. So he is establishing Maryad, this Purushottam Maryad. And only Krishna is tasting this Leela. He's Leela Purushottam, Krishna. Therefore, Sri Radha alone is described thus.
Govinda Nandini Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva, Sarvakanta Shiromani.
This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 4:82. Actually, it would be nice to also read through the 4th chapter in its entirety at some point soon, because the 4th chapter in Adi Leela and the 8th chapter, this Ramananda Samvada, are most complementary. And to get to digest both of these chapters, then we actually have the heart of the Chaitanya Charitamrita conclusively. So this verse, Sri Radha gives pleasure to Govinda. She is his enchantress, his all in all, and the crown jewel of all his sweethearts. So we heard at the beginning, after all the rasas were mentioned, after Kanta Ras or Madhurya Ras, then Radha's love for Krishna was mentioned. Before the Krishna Tattva and the Radha Tattva were mentioned. This love of Radha, because this is what Mahaprabhu is going to taste. This Madanakya Mahabhav, which is only in the heart of Radha. No one else has that. Okay.
8 to 89 and 290. Gupte Rakiha Kana Na Kariha Prakash Amara Batula Cheshta Loke Upahas Ami Eka Batula Tumi Dvitiya Batula Ateva Tumaya Amaya Hai Samatula.
Sriman Mahaprabhu said, O Ramananda Rai, please keep my actual identity, the axiomatic truths, and what I have shown you secret. Do not reveal them to anyone. People may laugh, since I always act like a madman. Actually, I am a madman, and you are also. Therefore, both of us are on the same platform. So now this madness will be unpacked and described, what sort of madness this is that Mahaprabhu is in. Full of humility, this is the commentary, full of humility, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that in this world of mundane logic and dry speculative knowledge, one should not present these talks before the unqualified non-devotees. And remember, we said that the other day, how Krishna's Kaviraj is celebrating because those camel ass-like men who are immersed in logic and unqualified, they're unqualified devotees, they will just go to sleep when you start talking about these topics. They will just leave. They won't be there. I've actually seen that when my Gurudev has been speaking sometimes, some very beautiful pastimes. Then I've seen individuals just fall asleep. They just don't connect with it because it's not their adhikar to connect. It's no problem. Everything's in process. Everything's step-by-step process. Such persons who are subject to mundane material intelligence and addicted to logic, argument, and word jugglery cannot understand the value of such topics, and by laughing at such topics, they will become offenders. Therefore, don't tell them. Don't open this treasure box in front of very unqualified people who are going to disrespect this topic and laugh at these topics, thinking that they're just imagination, fix, or what do you call it? They say in India all the time.
Myth?
What is it?
Myth?
No, but they say about Krishna's historic Leela. What do they say? There's a word for it.
Mythology.
Yeah, mythology. That's the word. Oh, that's what you said. Oh,
I
is
said
it?
myth. I said myth.
Myth, yes, myth, correct, yes, myth. They say it's mythology, or mythology, the Americans say. Mythology. So yes, mythology. That's horrible when I read that. Mythology. And so often they're saying like that because the Indian media are very good presenting beautiful topics, but they always premise it with this, it's mythological, as if, it's the material scientists have got hold of it and they won't allow it to be authentic. Word jugglery cannot understand the value of such topics. By laughing at such topics, they will become offenders. One should properly understand the word pagal, or madman, to mean premon mad, or one maddened by the influence of prem. It's described that a madman, materially, he can't weep. He has nothing in his heart. But a madman spiritually is weeping copiously because he has a heart so full of love that it falls out of his eyes. That's why Mahaprabhu squirts these tears, because his heart is so packed full of emotional feelings. He squirts it out, but a materially madman has nothing in his heart. It's dry as a bone. Just clang, clang, nothing there. Tragic. One whose every endeavor is performed under the influence of prem for the happiness of Krishna. That's what prem means, to run to satisfy Krishna's happiness, his calm, and who is intoxicated by the nectar of the path of Raganuga Bhakti, cannot be understood by persons absorbed in the rasa of material enjoyment. We spoke about that yesterday, that if we're not getting the spiritual pleasure, then we're going to be automatically looking for the material pleasure. And if one is imagining he's getting some taste from that, he's absolutely unqualified to even approach these topics, because he's actually getting some taste for that, rather than be detached from that entirely. At the time of death, what will be? What's that beautiful expression by Srila Pramodananda Saraswati? He says, "Oh brother, at the time of, when you close your eyes in death, where will your mother, father, family, friends, wife all be? Where will your good intelligence be? Where will your control over others be? Where will your reputation be? Leave all these things immediately and just run to the forest of Vrindavan." So all of those things constitute our material life, our involvement. Practically from the very beginning, we're trying to shore up our reputation in the world, what people think of me. I think this whole Facebook thing is just what people think of me. You got the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And sometimes people, they live their lives by that. You know, am I being acknowledged? Isn't it? That's called pratishta. And I'm probably the most one with most of that. And I'm trying to purify myself by reading this. The materialist will consider the prema-filled endeavors of the devotees to be a form of madness. When someone is attracted by Krishna Prem, he abandons all material endeavors and is said to be divinely intoxicated or transcendently maddened. So my Gurudev is qualifying this action when Mahaprabhu is calling himself a madman. Sriman Mahaprabhu declared, "O Ramananda, you are seeing me as a separate golden person, but I am not. I am Brajendra Nandan, Sri Krishna. My mood is Gora. My mood as Gora has come about by the touch of the body of Srimati Radhika, and it is eternal." So we just sang that beautiful bhajan. Bilvaji sang that beautiful bhajan. That everything we hope, this is our aspiration. Our aspiration is, we hope that all our desires will become to be united with Gora constantly, in dreams, walking, sleeping, talking, wherever I'm going, I'm thinking of Gora. Because this is the highest conception of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Gora. It doesn't, without the Aishwarya, when the Aishwarya has melted through the Prem, then the phenomena, the astonishment that Krishna has melted with Sri Radhika's Bhav and Kanti is amazing. Says Sri Radha, Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Whoever is able to understand the basic truth of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and of Sri Radha and Krishna can, by the mercy of Swarup Goswami, be enabled to obtain eternal service according to his actual eternal form. Why are we saying Swarup Goswami? This is Swarup Damodar. Why are we saying him? Because he's Lalita Sakhi, and all the youths are under Lalita Sakhi, just like in Jaivadama, the first person that Prem Das Babaji mentioned. Look, Lalita Sakhi is going to be disturbed. She's the boss. Ananga Manjari, she's indicating, she's like second. But Lalita Sakhi is the boss. Swarup Damodar has that place. So it's saying Swarup Goswami, isn't it? So this, we are all under guidance, ultimately, of Lalita Sakhi. Or you might be in Vishakagam, or you might be in any of the Astasakigam. But principally, our Gaudiya line is under the tutelage of Lalita Sakhi.
291 to 294. Ye rupa dasharatri Ramananda sange sukhe gunaila prabhu Krishna katha range niguda vrajera rasa lilara vichar aneka kahila tar na paile par tama kansa रूपा सोना रत्न चिंतामणि के है यदि कहाँ पोटा पाया एक खानी क्रमे उतैते सेहा उत्तमवत् सुपाय ऐचा प्रसन्नोत्तरा कैला प्रभु राम राय.
Sriman Mahaprabhu spent 10 nights like this with Sri Ramananda Rai, happily discussing topics of Sri Krishna. The pastimes in Vrindavan are very confidential. They described these pastimes at great length, but still they could not exhaust the subject matter because infinite. They have no end. Consider a person who digs and extracts from a mine many varieties of valuable substances such as copper, bell metal, silver, gold, jewels, and wish-fulfilling jewels. And in the process, he extracts items of increasing value, one after the other. Exactly thus, by the method of questions and answers, Sri Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu extracted higher and higher axiomatic truths, essential, elemental truths. When it's the absolute truth, it's so powerful to consider and meditate upon. It will impact the very elements of the body. This is the pran. It will affect the pran. It will touch the pran. Only the truth will touch the pran. If it's fictitious at all, it will just not be effective. It's like if we listen to some Hari Guitar, for example, and you're very, very touched by it. But if you wake up the next morning and you're still being touched by it, it's proof that this was actually a bona fide Hari Guitar you were hearing. But if in the morning you wake up and the whole Hari Guitar is actually just not there anymore, it's probably not delivered by someone who's like a Mahabhagavat, for example. It's not going to be sustaining in the heart. It's not going to remain. It's not going to hit the eternal pran. Always we can judge things like that. In the current verses, Sri Kaviraj Goswami has given copper, bell metal, silver, etc. as examples to describe a variety of sadhyas, because that's what we've scrolled through, a varieties of sadhyas, each one superior to the previous. But when you're in those sadhyas, it's the full, it's not superior. If you're following Varnashram, you think, yes, that should be the highest goal for everybody. That's the mindset. The descriptions begin with Varnashram Dham and conclude by revealing the topmost limit of sadhya, which is Madanakya Mahabhav. So just in a nutshell, my Gurudev is going to summarize the entire Raya Ramananda Samvada in code, but we can capture it. All of this is accomplished by the stratagem or method of questions and answers. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya rasas are compared to copper, bell metal, silver, gold, and Chintamani jewels, respectively. In Vrindavan, the water of Jamuna, the sand of the riverbanks, the kadamba trees, cows, sticks, and flutes are all manifestations of Shantaras. But my Gurudev has also said at another time that there's no Shantaras in Vrindavan, because all of these Udipans are all serving Krishna in a mood of Dasyaras, ultimately. But just for the sake of the comparison with these minerals that are being mined, my Gurudev is saying this is like in Shantaras. But we should know a deeper perspective that there is no Shantaras in Braj. Nothing is neutral. River Jamuna is not neutral. The cows are not neutral. They have such a relationship with Krishna. Krishna's flute is not neutral.
All conscious.
It's all conscious, yes. So it's not neutral, actually. But still, for the sake of this comparison here, my Gurudev is saying Shantaras, to have all the 12 rasas included. Golok Vrindavan has 12 rasas, Vaikuntha has 2.5. So we've said at another time, all these 12 rasas are listed. If you look at the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, and if you look on the back cover of that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, and Rasamanjari, we will post it, and you see all the 12 rasas are described in that one verse. It's a very beautiful verse to see the 12 rasas of Braj. So Chitraka, Patraka, Raktaka, and others are embodiments of Dasya Ras. Dham, Sridham, Subal, and others are embodiments of Sakya Ras. And Nanda and Yashoda are the embodiments of Vatsalya Ras. Lastly, Sri Radha, Lalita, and the other gopis of Braj are wealthy in their own respective bhavs in Madhurya Ras. None of them are the same in their own respective bhavs. Lalita, for example, is a Apekshika Adhika. Radhika is Atyantika Adhika. There's a distinction. Starting from copper, the succeeding metals increase in value through bell metal and silver and gold, etc. In the same way, from the initial sadhya of Varnashram Dham, there is an incremental scale of bhakti. That means increased scale of bhakti. An increased scale of bhakti throughout. This is what this whole beautiful Samvada is about, just an increased scale of bhakti in terms of superiority, but always, yes, superiority. There is a gradation in the examples given. Copper is like following Varnashram Dham. As copper is common, of little value, and considered not worth keeping, it is thus rejectable. It's not spiritual, it's the external. That's what he said. This is not pertaining to the soul. Mahaprabhu only wants to hear topics pertaining to the soul. This Varnashram Dham is within the category of Aropa Siddha Bhakti. What is Aropa Siddha Bhakti? That bhakti that we imagine we are, and we are. Rupa Goswami condones this, but Aropa Siddha Bhakti is like if you like painting, so you just do a painting for Krishna, but your first desire is to fulfill your own creative feeling, or you like cooking, you like being in the kitchen. So, but if you're cooking exclusively for Krishna, that's Swarup Siddha Bhakti. That's a completely different type of bhakti. So there's Aropa Siddha Bhakti, or we can even call Aropa Siddha Bhakti sometimes Sakam Karma Yoga, like Dhruva Maharaj. He went and meditated for a particular reason. So that's a particular sadhya. This is what we're going through, the different sadhyas. Aropa Siddha Bhakti, an activity which is not in itself composed of bhakti, but is termed bhakti. Bell metal bronze is a mixture of the two metals, copper and tin, and it is equivalent to Gyan Mishra Bhakti, which is not the topmost sadhya. Pure silver is like Swarup Siddhi Bhakti, which is superior to an alloy, a mixed metal. Gold is compared to Prema Bhakti in the mood of Dasya. It is better and more developed than Swarup Siddha Bhakti. So Prem is beyond. Bhakti is the process. Prem is the goal, is the experience. This Bhakti is my devotional mood. This Swarup Siddhi Bhakti is like pure bhakti, pure devotion. But what is the result of that pure devotion is Prem. So Prem is actually higher than Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Understand? It's the goal of Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Jewels correspond to Sakya and Vatsalya Prem Bhakti, by which Sri Krishna is controlled. The ultimate jewel is the Chintamani, or the wish-fulfilling jewel, representing the Madanakya Mahabhav of Srimati Radhika. This is extremely rare and fulfills each and every one of Sri Krishna's desires. It's so rare, only Sri Radhika possesses this Madanakya Mahabhav. But the other gopis, Lalita and Vishaka, they have a semblance of that, a shadow of that. I've said a couple of times already this evening, this Apekshika Adhika Mridvi. This is Radhika. She is the highest, and there is no one even close to her. And the next stage that is described is Apekshika. That is Lalita Saki. She is the next stage down. She is relatively great to Sri Radhika. So there is gradation in the highest bliss. So we are hearing this to serve the highest proposition. Not that we are going to achieve that. This is not about us. It's about them. It's all about them. From the very beginning of Rasa Tattva, it's all about their progress and understanding the science of the love between them. And the more we immerse ourselves and drown ourselves in contemplation of their exchanges, then the more we will naturally feel blissful by that meditation. But the principal focus should be our devotion to them, not like some upward, trying to achieve something, like a yogi will be going through different stages trying to achieve some ultimate nirvanic place. It's not like that. It's like an appreciation of these truths and melting the heart in appreciation of these truths, in service, in devotion, because that is the quality of all of these moods, is the depth of the devotion that they contain, isn't it? Which fulfills every one of Sri Krishna's desires.
8295 to 302. Aradina Rai Pashe Vidaya Magila Vidayera Kale Tare Ye Agnya Dila Vishaya Chadiya Tumi Yahanila Chale Ami Tirtha Karitaha Asiba Alpakale Duyujana Nila Chale Rahiba Ek Sange Sukhe Gunai Bakal Krishna Kata Range Ye Tabali Ramanande Kari Alingana Tare Gare Pataya Karila Shayana Pratakale Utti Prabhu Deki Hanuman Tare Namaskari Prabhu Dakshine Karila Prayan Vidyapure Nana Mata Loka Vaishayata Prabhu Darshane Vaishnava Haila Chadi Nijamata Ramananda Haila Prabhu Virahe Vibvala Prabhura Dhyane Rahe Vishaya Chadiya Sakala Kshamkshepe Kahilo Ramanandera Milan Vistari Varnite Nare Sahasra Vadan.
So in the previous paragraph to these last verses, it's saying that the ultimate jewel is the Chintamani, or the wish-fulfilling jewel, representing the Madanakya Mahabhav of Srimati Radhika. So that is the ultimate sadhya for us to serve. And how do we serve? This extremely rare mood is ultimately service to Sri Radhika, and the ultimate service for the jivas now, gifted by Mahaprabhu, is Manjari Bhav. This is actually our ultimate goal. We can understand that from this last, because now we're going to go into another sort of area, so to speak. But this is the final lessons on what is the sadhya. The sadhya is Madanakya Mahabhav, contained in the heart of Sri Radhika. That's what's pleasing Krishna the most. So if I serve Srimati Radhika, I am supporting her effort to please Krishna in that Madanakya Mahabhav. And what is the most intimate, confidential way to serve her is in the mood of a manjari. The Sakis, they also serve and support her so beautifully, but even more intimate, just like when Krishna is in his most intimate pastimes with Radharani. Sometimes his hair gets entangled in their earrings. When they're in their most confidential pastimes, the Sakis can never enter at that point, but the manjaris can come in very expertly, take the hairs out from the earrings and untangle them. It's as if they're not even there, because they're so pure. Their service is so pure. That is the quality of the manjaris. And this is what Mahaprabhu has come to gift us. Not Sakhi Bhav. Don't ever think that. Because who is the Sakhi that you're getting the Sakhi Bhav from? And then someone might say, well, who is the manjari that you're getting your manjari Bhav from? I will say Raman Manjari, my Gurudev. Or Kamala Manjari, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Or Binod Manjari, Srila Param Gurudev, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. All manjaris, they're all Rupa Manjari, all the way down the line. This is who I'm getting that manjari Bhav from. So if someone says that they're in Sakhi Bhav, you ask them, who is the Sakhi that you connect? Like Mahaprabhu himself is showing this example. He's come to the Godavari. He's getting this Sakhi Bhav ultimately from Vishaka. It's waking up that potential in his heart. There always has to be that connection. We have a very nice document, file from the text of Vilap Kusumanjali, when my Gurudev was speaking to the ISKCON gurus about these topics, and they were asking him relentlessly, is it all right to try to achieve Sakhi Bhav? And they were asking again and again and again and again, and my Gurudev was responding. And finally, this was the final thing, he said, Who is the Saki that you're going to get? Because you have to have this lobe, you have to have this Greek. So who is the lobee? Who is the person that you're getting it from? That's the ultimate consideration. So this Saki bar is not available now, because who is the Saki that you're getting it from? All our line from Mahaprabhu, who is the principal exponent and teacher of Mahaprabhu's instructions. It's Rupa Goswami. Who did more than that? Purandar did more than that? Ramanuja, who was way before. But any of these other personalities, are they carrying the direct moods and instructions of Mahaprabhu about Braj Ras and Braja Prem? Is there anybody? You sure?
That's why he came, Maharaj. That's why he himself came. He himself came.
Mahaprabhu, you
Yes.
Yes, yes. Only Mahaprabhu can give this through Rupa Goswami. So this is like the conclusion. Now we're going to go to a different topic. Next day, Sriman Mahaprabhu begged Sri Ramananda Rai to permit him to leave. When departing, the Lord ordered him, give up all material business and go to Nilachal, Sri Jagannath Puri. I will quickly finish touring the holy places and return there. The two of us shall remain together in Nilachal and happily pass our time discussing topics of Sri Krishna. This is Mahaprabhu's plan for his next 18 years practically. We're into his probably the 22nd, 23rd year of his, when he's beginning his sannyas ashram, his renounced order, and then he spends 18 years in Puri in the company of Ramananda Roy for those whole 18 years. Saying this, Sriman Mahaprabhu then embraced Sri Ramananda Roy, and after sending him back to his home, the Lord also left there in order to take rest. After rising from bed the next morning, Mahaprabhu had darshan of Hanuman, and after offering him obeisances, the Lord departed for South India to continue his tour of the holy places. So it's interesting. To begin with, he had darshan of Nrsingadev in that beautiful temple, and at the end, he has darshan of Hanumanji. So it's protected. These are very, very powerful personalities, Nrsingadev and Hanumanji. They are protecting the confidentiality of these truths, just like when we have our Harikatha, we always chant 3 Hare Krishna Maha mantras under at the end to close the door. That's the idea of that, to keep it contained. So there's Hanuman at the end, and there was Nrsingadev at the beginning. Very sweet. After the commentary. After this, he arrived at Vidyapur, where all the residents followed different religious persuasions. Some would be Advaitavad, some would be Ramanuja, some would be influenced by Madhvacharya, Nimbaditya. All these different sampradayas would have had their influence throughout the whole southern continent of India. But after seeing Sriman Mahaprabhu, they gave up their own philosophies and became Vaishnavas. On the other hand, Sri Ramananda Rai was so overwhelmed in separation from the Lord that he gave up all his material affairs and became completely immersed in meditation upon him. Ramananda Rai had the luxury to just sit back and totally absorb himself in the topics that they just discussed. Ramananda Roy's mind had been blown, we can say, by seeing this Rasaraj Mahabhav that had never been shown before to anyone. This was the first and only time that this Mahabhav is going to be actually shown, and it's directly, completely, it's described that Ramananda Roy could absorb and assimilate darshan of Krishna with his flute. That was okay. But then when he saw Krishna covered by Radhika, then he fainted. Then it became too much overwhelming for him too. Because he loves Radha too, and he loves Krishna. So how is that darshan that he actually had? Because it's such a remarkable conception that Krishna wants to be covered by the bhav of Radhika. He's controlled by Radhika in Braj, this Samartharati. All the gopis, they control Krishna, right? But to be covered by her bhav completely, that's phenomenal. That's something unheard of. So Ramananda Rai, he'd considered all these other topics so deeply. He quotes from Shastra all the way through. He's so well versed. He's such a profound scholar, as well as bhakta, devotee, etc. Vishaka. But this part just stumped him completely. This was just like over the top. So this is Mahaprabhu. This is actually who is Mahaprabhu. So this is the first time he's showing the world who he is. We've lived with this conception for what, 30, 40 years or so. We've heard this conception, so we've kind of digested it to some degree. It's not sort of something astonishing anymore. We haven't perhaps realized it, but we're on the road, in progress to realizing it. So it's not astonishing it as much as it would have Ramananda Rai. He was just blown away by it. So it's saying that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj explains here, gave up all his material affairs and became completely immersed in meditation upon him. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj explains here, I have briefly described, the meeting between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. No one can actually describe this meeting completely. It is even impossible for Bhagavan Sri Sheshnag, who has thousands of mouths. And we also have gone through it very briefly. We've gone through it in about 6 weeks, I think. We're just about, this is the last page. So it's, we could pick out all different topics to churn over. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes that the worship of Hanuman is performed in Vidyanagar. He is the deity of that village, and after offering respects to him, Sriman Mahaprabhu continued on his tour of the holy places of Sri India. I just find it significant that Hanumanji gets a place at the end, like the bookmark. When you've got a book stand, you've got Nrsingadev at the beginning, you've got Hanuman at the end, and it's protecting it. Okay.
83032-307 Sahade Chaitanya Charitra Ghana Dugdapur Ramananda Charitra Tahe Khanda Prachur Radha Krishna Leela Tate Karpura Milan Bhagyavan Ye She Kare Kare Ashwadhan Ye Iha Ye Kabar Piye Karna Dware Tar Karna Lobe Iha Chadi Te Na Pare Rasa Tattva Jnana Hai Ihara Shravane Prema Bhakti Haya Radha Krishnera Charane Chaitanyera Gudha Tattva Jani Iha Haite Vishvasha Karishuna Tarkana Kariha Chitte.
The character and activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like condensed milk, and the character of Sri Ramananda Rai is like sweet sugar candy. Mixing them together produces a supremely sweet substance. The pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna are like adding camphor. One who is able to taste this substance is most fortunate. One who is able to taste it, not become it. That's not our objective, what we just explained. It's to taste it, to taste the speciality, sweetness.
Taste and not to merge into it.
Yes, yes. One who is able to taste this substance is most fortunate. Anyone who even once receives this through the doorway of the ears becomes greedy to relish it further still, and his ears will never want to stop hearing it. By hearing the talks between Ramananda Rai and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one becomes enlightened with the complete transcendental knowledge of Rasa Tattva, the mellows of Sri Radha and Krishna's pastimes. Everything is here. And he can achieve Prema Bhakti for the divine couple's lotus feet. What does that mean, achieve Prema Bhakti? That means my love becomes overflowing towards the desire to serve them and bring them happiness. This is what Prema Bhakti means. It doesn't mean like a yogic stage. It means, because in Jaiva Dhamma, Sannyasi Thakur, he asks, is this Advaita Siddhi the same as Prem? There's a whole discussion about this in Jaiva Dhamma. And it's described, no, Advaita Siddhi doesn't have the object and the subject. It's just about you achieving something like a yogi. Whereas Prem always has to be two. And we are serving that Prem. So there's three. There's the jiva also serving Radha and Krishna. It's like when we chant the Maha Mantra, there's actually 3 Ishtadevs. There's Radha and Krishna and Prem. It's like in between the two of them. There's a current of Prem, like a magnet between the two. So it's 3 that we serve. He can achieve Prema Bhakti for the divine couple's lotus feet. The activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are extremely confidential, and this confidential knowledge is received only by submissive hearing. Sometimes we read scholars on the internet proclaiming various aspects of the truth as if they are understanding all of that, rather than the mood of submission and savor to those truths. When we hear a mood of service to those truths, the heart becomes very joyful and melted. It's about the service to these truths that we are hankering to hear, not to just scholarly present them. That is not our objective. Do not allow your mind to make any type of speculation in this regard, and hear these talks with full faith. Just take them as they are, without construing all kinds of different things within them. Okay.
308 to 312. Alaukika lila e parama niguda vishwase paya tarke haya bahudura Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Advaita Charana Yahara Sarvasva Tare Mile Ye Dhan Ramananda Raye Mora Koti Namaskar Yar Mukhe Kaila Prabhu Rasera Vistar Damodar Surupera Kadacha Anusare Ramananda Milan Leela Karila Prachare Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Yara Ash Chaitanya Charitra Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Das.
I just have to say at this point a moment for expressing my gratitude to Sri Bilbamangala Thakur for all the way through. He's chanted these verses so beautifully. If you follow along with his recitation, they're completely perfect, and it's a pleasure to hear and add efficacy, add fidelity to what our subject matter is about. So I'm really, really grateful. So here's the translation. This part of Sriman Mahaprabhu's pastimes is most deep and confidential. One who has faith can achieve this. Yes, Shraddha is the rock. It's faith that will increase daily. Actually, moment by moment in the day, our faith is increasing. It's not a static thing. It's not, oh yes, I have faith. I heard all that before. Now I have faith. No, it's not like that. One who has faith can achieve this, while it remains very far from those subject to faulty mundane logic. He who has accepted the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu as his all-in-all can attain this transcendental treasure of rasa. So a couple of days ago we had the appearance day of Advaita Acharya, and day after tomorrow we've got the appearance day Triyodasi of Nityananda Prabhu. So we're completely in line here. We're in a place to receive this divine mercy at this time. I, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, am offering millions of obeisances to the lotus feet of Sri Ramananda Rai, from whose lotus mouth Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has spread the wealth of Prema Ras. This pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Sri Ramananda Rai has been described in accordance with the notebooks of Swarup Damodar, and those notebooks have come through the lotus mouth of Sri Raghunath Das into the ear of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj. So it's 2, because Raghunath was in Puri for 14 years, some say 15 years, witnessing directly these pastimes. So, and he was carrying the truths of Swarup Damodar's realizations in his heart also, and his notebooks. So this is what he's poured into the ear of Krishnadas Kaviraj. So how can we not have absolute implicit faith in these teachings and writings? This is written exactly. If there's any anomaly, if there's anything wrong, it's the editors. But the actual words of Krishnadas Kaviraj are supreme and faithful. That's why it's actually so wonderful to hear the Bengali each time. Bengali creates the platform of fidelity, because this is what Krishnadas Kaviraj has actually written. This pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Ramananda Roy has been described in accordance with the notebooks of Sri Swarup Damodar, desiring the mercy of the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath Goswami. I, Krishnadas, narrate this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is the final sentence of this nectar. Completely, it's a heavy treatise. It's amazing how much wealth is in this Ramananda. I didn't realize when we first started this 6 weeks ago just how much wealth was here. I had a notion, because we've been through it before in Puri a few years ago, but the actual, to have the opportunity and the honor to speak it publicly has been a great joy to go through every word of this book. We've been through the entirety of the book. So I hope that all the listeners have collected enough treasures to continue their meditation. And in future, perhaps in about a month or 6 weeks, I think I'll go through the Adi Leela chapter 4, which will support this even more. Personally, I'm going to go to Radhakund for Gopurnim this year, and then I'll be in Mayapur after the 20th of March. And beginning of April, perhaps, I will do this Adi Leela chapter 4. So thank you all for your attentive listening. Is any question come to mind? We have 1 or 2 minutes.
I was just thinking about how Krishna is.
You have to speak loudly so they can hear it also, so I don't have to repeat it.
Yeah. Krishna is Satchit Ananda
Right.
Vigraha.
Right.
So he's full in eternity, knowledge and bliss. Yet Mahaprabhu's advent is sort of pointing to the fact that there's some lacking in Krishna and Krishna's understanding of his own sweetness. So how can we reconcile?
Very simply, just like the sun planet has the rays of the sun as its Shakti, as its energy, or the heat. The heat is emanating from the sun planet, but the sun planet doesn't have complete understanding of the nature of the heat or the light that it spreads. The sun planet is the source. Is it clear? But it doesn't, huh?
Like the sugar.
Like the sugar, yeah. Just like the sugar example. The sugar is separate from the taster. The taster is his energetic, his Shakti. His Shakti is looking at the sun planet, so to speak. This is most clearly appreciated by chapter 14 of Jayavadama. This chapter 14 has to be read repeatedly. Shakti Tattva.
Sugar may be told that it is sweet, but the sugar itself doesn't know how sweet it is.
Yes, yes.
Sugar cannot taste itself.
Its own sweetness. So it doesn't know that. So even though Krishna, the sugar, is omnipotent, knows everything, but it doesn't know its own sweetness. Isn't that beautiful? And only Mahaprabhu is the one who's called on it, who said, yes, I don't know this part. Krishna performed his pastimes in Vrindavan, but there was something lacking. He didn't get the highest taste as Radha got. Radha tasted much more bliss than Krishna did. We've described many times. Krishna, he experiences up to the stage of Mahabhav, and Radhika is Ruda and Adiruda, 2 stages more. These blazing sattvika bhavs. Krishna doesn't experience that because he's the object. He's the sugar. So it's just like a son, for example, is manifesting from the father. The father may know many things about the son, but he doesn't actually know the heart of this. It's a separate entity. So Krishna doesn't know everything, no. He doesn't know everything. He certainly doesn't know everything about the heart of Radhika. Radhika really bewilders him sometimes. Venum karanne patitam shkalitam shikandam prastam chavisa Venu. What's that? Venum. Oh, how can I forget this verse? Venum karanne patitam shkalitam shikandam Premamritam.
Brahma Samhita verse.
Go with the Vani version.
165, just a minute, I've got to get it. Now I've spoken, I have to say it. I say these verses every day, but when it comes to actually saying them,
Venum Konantam Aravinda
Venum.
Dalaya.
That's it.
Venum Konantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barhavatam.
No, Venum Kara. Yasya Kadaksha Saragarate Vimurtitasya Tam Radikam Paricharami Kadarasena. When will the time come when I can continuously render service to in Ras to my Swarup Srimati Radhika, by whose shower of arrow-like sidelong glances Sri Nandanandan faints. His flute tumbles from his hands, his crown of peacock feathers falls from his hand, and his yellow cloth slips. He's not in control when he's with Radhika. He doesn't know Radhika. That's the phenomenon. Nice question. Okay, we'll stop. Thank you all so much for your attention for these last 6 weeks, and I hope everyone has taken something of the treasure according to our adhikar from this amazing Samvad. Shri Raya Ramananda Samvada ki jai, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Ananta Koda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Go Premanandi. I'll be doing another live stream on Monday, day after tomorrow, for Nityananda Trayodasi. And then I'll stop the live streams for about a month. So tomorrow will be the, Monday, Nityananda Trayodasi will be the last day of the live streams. Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhuevcha, Patitanam Pavnebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.